we are in the appellation Castillon-Côte de Bordeaux, in the beautiful Chateau d'Aiguille.
And beautiful vintage 2016.
Chateau d'Aiguille is owned by the famous Comte Stephan Von Neipperg. Make sure you stick to the end, we'll have a surprise guest during this video today. A lot of you have asked us to choose some charcuterie we can pair the wine with. So today we have jambon de Bayonne, which is a cured ham from Bayonne, a city in the Basque area, southwest of France. Some saucisson sec, some dried sausage, very typical French charcuterie, I would say. And then we have two pâtés. We have a duck mousse right here. We have another mousse with foie gras and girolles, mushrooms, some chorizo right there, a little bit of cheeses, right, necessary. And we have some truffle potato chips and truffle butter right here. And a selection of French breads, of course, also. By the way, if you're looking for great French charcuterie in the US, you should definitely try Three Little Pigs. They make amazing French charcuterie produced and sold in the US.
So the appellation Castillon-Côte de Bordeaux is located about 10 kilometers northeast from Saint-Émilion, so on the right bank of the river. The entire appellation size is around 5,500 acres total. There are roughly 230 producers, and the average size for a vineyard is 10 hectares, so the average in acres will be 25. Here at Chateau d'Aiguille, Elodie, can you tell us more about this specific vineyard?
Yes, this one is one of the largest estates of Castillon-Côte de Bordeaux with 222 acres vineyard planted. So 10 times bigger than the average.
Yes. Huge, yeah.
Very big.
So this winery existed way before the creation, the recognition of the quality of the area. Because the first appellation that recognized the wines from the Castillon area was created in 1935, while the winery we know was already making wine back in the 13th century. They think that maybe the Romans were already making wine back in the 2nd, 3rd century, so it's a very long history of winemaking at Chateau d'Aiguille.
And the very great things of this place is we are just a few miles away from Saint-Émilion, prestigious Saint-Émilion vineyard, and we have a very good balance in between the very good quality because of the terroir, because of the soil, and the winemakers also that are doing a great job.
What is amazing in the Castillon-Côte de Bordeaux appellation is that 25% of the entire appellation is grown as organic.
Yeah, that's very unique, yes, in the Bordeaux area. And in this appellation, like Castillon-Côte de Bordeaux, we have mainly family-owned producers from generations to generation. That's very interesting to see and discover this appellation. If you already opened your Chateau d'Aiguille 2016 that you received in the Wine Club selection, let us know what you think in the comment down below.
Yeah.
Cheers!
Santé! Cheers! Santé!
Santé to all of you!
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more videos coming.
And here is our special guest! So when did you stop making wine in d'Aiguille?
Our first vintage was 99. We bought the company in the 31 December of 98. We bought a chateau with a lot of history. First buildings there was in the 13th century. And probably before, when we found in the vineyards we replanted, so like a temple of Gallo-Roman. And so I think there was before Gallo-Roman, 13th century, very important place in the War of 100 Years. But you know, all this area here was British for more than 300 years. The last battle between the French and the English was not far away. It was about 4 or 5 kilometers. The historical area was always here. They make always wine, but like always in this time, there was areas for wine, there was areas for agriculture, and they have forests. And so this was a little bit like what we want to have now, a farm that your autonomous farm. So back to the roots. We need life. How you can make outstanding wine with life if you have no life in your soil? Start to bring life in the soil, the compost. And then you will have one day's life in the wine. And if you have life in the wine, you bring life in the world. You bring life to the people that drink it. And I think this is...
That's beautiful poetry.
very important. Yeah.
And how did you find Chateau d'Aiguille?
So, well, we start in Saint-Emilion. So the first chateau I take over was Castillon-la-Bataille.
In which year?
Yeah, in Saint-Emilion. In which year? And thank you for the question. 85.
Okay.
Normally I'm a more product of finance. Nobody's perfect. I came to Bordeaux in 83. I take completely over Castillon-la-Bataille 85. Then Clos Laboratoire Chateau 91. The New Mondot 96. Well, then we have Clos Marcelet in the Pessac-les-Oignons area and Aiguille. But we are already shareholders in Chateau in the Sauternes. And so I travel around. Saint-Emilion, the prices was very, very high for the hectare. And so we look around here and that's the prices for hectare for the land is not very expensive. But behind, you have really to create it all. Well, you have no name, you have no brand name. Philip de Rothschild, what really always told is that for a brand name in Bordeaux, it's so easy. It's only the first 200 years that are difficult.
So how did you start? How your family became fond of wine and...
Oh, that's a very, very long history. You know, the family is one of these families in the Roman Empire of German nation. So there was a lot of smaller countries inside, and behind you have the emperor. He was the leading guys, but in the middle of them there's a lot of families like the Bavarian, like the Württemberg, like the Prussian. There was 3 countries, and we was one of these 3 countries. So also if you see the label, you have a closed crown. So that was an independent family, and we lost our leadership with Napoleon. The family is a very old family of more than 800 years, and always in the wine. So my father bought the first company, Castillon-la-Bataille, in 71, and you know, this was very funny all this way. We don't know exactly why he bought it, and we always joking about it, and we think that he was always afraid about the Russians, and he thought that one day the Russians will come to Germany and Austria back, and so he says, oh, we make an investment in a part of the business we know about wine. So we go to Bordeaux. We are not far away from the Atlantic. If the Russians are coming, I can take a boat and go to New York. So it's only the idea. Well, I think that this was always to be a little bit more independent, to have not all the eggs in the same area, and have something outside. So 16 was a funny year, right? It was a dry year. Just before we have the maturity, it was so dry that we lose a little bit of the juice. And that makes the alcohol is quite high alcohol. That's not 12 degrees alcohol. It's more 13 point something, 14 point something. Here you are 14 point something. So we have a very good acidity. We have the ripeness, but the pH is quite down. So what is clear in if you have Aiguille, the soil is a limestone. So we have about, that depends, in some areas 60 centimeters of soil only, and then we have the stone, and sometimes it's a little bit deeper, but never too deep. If you are speaking about chalk, you always have colors that are a little bit more in the blue, very red, very dark. So Aiguille always have color. Aiguille always have power. Always have tannins. What you have to bring into Aiguille is the fineness, the thicky way, and you give the profoundness. So we are very, very careful with the extraction. So we have a pigeage, but really only in the first days of the fermentation. If we have a very small quantity of alcohol, then we have a good extraction, then stop, nothing. And then we only have to be cooked, if you want, the wines in the fermentation, but very slowly, but very kind. And so we take the good things out, but not too much. All what is good is in the skin. The juice is white. So we need the extraction, but in a kind way. And we want to have exciting wines, and then also in the nose, not only fruit, and also that you have a little bit zone, you have a little bit underground.
You express your terroir.
Yeah, it's exactly in the limestone, it's clay, in chalk, and you will have a little bit the truffles. That the things that are in the wine is coming out, and I think that makes it much more complex. You have only one thing, that's too easy, it's boring. Whoa. And what I find nice in this wine, is the wine is powerful, it's full in the mouth, but it's long. So the tannins are not hard. Normally it's also, Bordeaux also have wines, they have tannins. You need to eat something with this wine.
So this 2016, we know it's very young, but we kept it in the decanter for several hours before enjoying it.
It's really nice, and you make no mistakes. You can see these young wines. You need oxygen. The beginning is a bit tough. You can say, well, we'll have more muscles than you, right? And then after it's becoming more kind, more elegance, more things coming out. But it's also, you see, we have a product. That's life. It's not only that's
the beauty of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we have discussion. Why we have this discussion about. Why we want.
So for dessert, we are super happy to welcome Emily. Emily, who is in charge of the visits at the Chateau d'Aiguille and at other estates of Comte Von Neipperg's vineyards.
And thank you, Emily, for welcoming us today on this beautiful day. And it's a chateau you organize tours in.
Yes, we hope we'll open again soon. We have been obliged to close to respect all the rules about COVID and so. And we also organize weddings and other events. We have a beautiful room, and this place is a very special place with a real soul, and there are beautiful landscapes also to take nice pictures.
So we're having dessert. It's dark chocolate lava cake, which is perfect to pair with the Chateau d'Aiguille 2016. I really love it. It's the fruit from the wine with the tannins of the chocolates, and the tannins of the wine are getting really together.
Yeah, dark chocolate.
Of course, dark chocolate, yeah.
And we have a little surprise today also. We have some cannelé from a place that you find really easily in Bordeaux. There are a few shops and they actually make very good cannelé. This is called La Toque Cuivrée. And the cannelé have a very special history in Bordeaux.
Oui, these little cakes are unique in France. You find them only here in the region because it has a link with the production of the wine. As you may know, wine before being bottled, we need to remove some sediments, and to do so we were using egg whites to clarify it. And since the beginning, extra yolk was used by the nuns to create a little cake.
And the mold was made with copper, which gives that crunchy inside. The way it's will give something very crunchy and very melty inside.
Melted inside, voilà.
Yeah. But actually, if you come to Bordeaux, we can take you to a class to learn how to make the perfect cannelé.
Thank you again, Emily, for having us today, and thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.